Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life, the podcast. This is Life Coach Myrna Young, and you are listening to Author's Corner, where we showcase and highlight our local authors. Today, I am speaking to Patricia Vega. She is the author of Connections by Design, and Patricia and I are going to be talking on the very important subject of building an authentic connection with your teenage child. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in your program. It's an honor. I'm very happy to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. Like I said, talking about teenagers, listen, any information the parents can have to help them work with teenagers is something that they should pay attention to. So, all right, guys, so let me give you guys a brief synopsis of Patricia's book. This is a quote from Ron Taffel, and he says, "As kids reach adolescence, they need us to watch over them more than ever. Adolescence is not about letting go. It's about hanging on to every single bumpy ride." So, Patricia's saying that navigating the teenage years can be challenging. And as parents, we play a crucial role in guiding our teenagers through this phase. In Connection by Design, Patricia Vega delves into the complexities of the teenage mindset, shedding light on the emotions of adolescence and the need for teenage privacy. Yep, we all know about those doors that are closed. Listen, I have 2 biological children and I adopted 3. So I have been traumatized by the teenage experience. So, all right, so let's dive right into it. So the first question I have here for you, Patricia, can you talk about the importance of empathy and understanding in nurturing a healthy and authentic bond with your teenager?
Well, like I said before, I was planning what I'm going to say and this and that, but I said, the hell with it. I'm going to speak from my heart. Empathy is it's a little complicated. There's a cognitive empathy and there's true empathy. Cognitive empathy is like, well, when let's say you're watching the news, you see something's going on in other countries, you feel bad for other people and stuff. But true empathy is, I cannot say that it's important, is essential. And especially essential with teenagers. Why? Because they're just entering in the world of adulthood. I call them newborn adults. We all been through that. We were all teenagers at one time. So we're supposed to be the best teachers. But somehow we build this image of adults and teenagers. No. They're adults and young adults. So true empathy is relating to them emotionally, regardless if you agree with the way they're thinking, with what they're saying, is understanding that they're going through tough times, that they're hurting or they're confused or lonely. You may say as a parent, "Oh, I love them. Of course I adore my children." Yeah. No. Yeah, it's good. But what's important is how they feel. Do they feel loved? Do they feel understood? So empathy is essential in every human being. Now, empathy and understanding, you got it made, is essential for teenagers because they're just entering the adulthood. They need the support. They need to feel loved. They need to feel understood. They need to feel that someone cares. Empathy is caring. In all the conversations, go ahead.
I think the problem is that the parents care, but the kids do things that they don't agree with. So I like exactly what you said. You show empathy regardless of whether you agree or not, because you understand that it's a difficult time for them. So one of the things you talk about, maybe that will shed some light on this empathy, talk that we're having right now, is the teenage mindset. You talk about delving into the complexities of the teenage mindset. So how does empathy and the teenage mindset, how do they meet?
I see what you're saying, because even though you want to have empathy and you see them, let's say being rebels or not doing the right thing, or you already know that they're going to hurt themselves and they think they're right.
Right.
You need the connection first. You need the connection first in order for them to listen to you. Even though you feel like, what the hell are you doing? For example, oh my God, you're gonna hurt yourself. No, that's right. Because you already have the experience. No, they're hurting because they still they haven't understand how it works. They're just entering that tunnel of adulthood. Okay. So I understand your pain. Once you connect, once you build that bridge, and you listen to them, let it out, hold on, don't say no, this is, you already know what's with your experience, what's going to happen if they do certain things. Yeah. First connect. Once they feel connected, then they can listen to you. Why? Because they feel that someone cares. Now, in hundreds of teenagers that have joined gangs, when they interview them, the most common answer is, when they ask them, why did you join the gangs? They say, because they accept me. It's my family. Right. So in their mind, they're still growing. You know what I'm saying? They're still growing. So in their mind is, no, they don't accept me. Of course you accept them, you love them, you care, you give your life for them, but you have to just connect first. And you cannot follow other families' pattern. Each family has their own pattern. You build your own connection. That's why I call it connection by design. Each child is different. Each child, each person, each human being has their own essence. So no one is going to know your child better than you. That's it.
Yeah.
First connect, and then you guide them. Because if you try to guide them without connecting, they're just not going to listen. Actually, a friend of mine was saying jokingly, no, I cannot talk to my child. And I said, why? Because I'm her I'm her father. So I'm the last person that he's going to listen to.
Well, we all have that. Most parents have, you're living in my house, you're going to follow my rules, you're going to do as I say. But you're right, that actually pushes them away. And that's a very good point that you just brought up. You push them away and they join the gangs, or they do bad things because they're following people in school or whatever. That's actually a very good point. So I'm glad that you brought up the connection by design. And you have some profound themes in there. And one of them is your design team that you just mentioned. So can you provide the audience an overview of what inspired you to write the book, and what is the central message that you aim to convey?
Oh my God, my mind is traveling right now. So many stories. But the first that comes to mind is a few years ago, and I cannot say where or what or the name of it because it's confidential. But I work with, let's say, a youth program. Let's call it a youth program. And I was supervising these girls, and they offered me this program, this job, this project, and I had to supervise 150 girls per day, me and another 60 ladies. And I thought, well, it's a new experience. And it was a very, very, very interesting experience. Those 150 girls, they were not the same 150 girls. I mean, every day or every 2 days, there were different 150 girls. Okay. So, wow. Yes. And to
Wow.
be in a room, to be in this room or this building and see these 150 beds, you know, and the supervisors and the guards and everybody, the social workers. And when I joined there, I try to, um, of course, I consider myself a positive person, but I try to keep also a calm face, a positive, and a smile and everything to the children because they have been through different uh, difficult experience. But for my surprise, a few girls were calling me, and I don't know why there were other social workers, but they were calling me, and I said, I'm just supervising here, and they started opening up. And they told me all this that, oh my God, I feel like crying now. Give me a few seconds. It's hard. It's painful. I share tears with them. I share laughs with them. The stories that I would never imagine in my life from these girls to share with me. In other occasions, there were boys, young guys also. And I was talking to them. I was listening to them, and sometimes I just said a few words because the main thing is to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. And not judge,
And
right? Yes.
I didn't expect when they said, can you adopt me? Or the girls, they said, I wish my parents would listen to me like you do. And for me, just something so simple. And I said, what do you mean, sweetie? They said, they always yell at me. They never listen to me. And what really got through me, maybe, I don't know if they find it like something silly, but for me, it was like a knife in my heart and I still remember their faces. Several of them, they said to me, can you do something? Or can you talk to my parents? Can you do something so our parents understand that, you know, that we matter? And I saw how hungry they were of being listened to,
Yeah.
of being listened to. And I'm not, it's not the parents' fault. It's the beliefs that were hammered into our head from our parents, and our parents from their parents, and their parents from their parents, like that. And sometimes we live our lives because we're, in a certain way because we don't want to be judged.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do an out analysis of ourselves to disregard all those toxic beliefs. We create this image that, oh, he's at a difficult age, he's a teenager, they don't listen, they're responsible, this and that. That was created by society. No, they don't need to listen. They need to be listened to.
Yeah.
You are the best parent, Myrna. You're the best parent because you were a teenager. So you know how you felt with your
Right.
parents. You're
Yeah.
doing the best you can.
Yeah.
How come right now, even though we have treatments, therapies, support groups, and all that, how come the suicides rate is increasing in teenagers? So we must be doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, like I said in the beginning of this conversation, a book about, understanding your teenager and some, any kind of advice to make you work with it. Because listen, that is a conflicting, heads butting kind of relationship. I was listening to an interview the other day. It's an interview, a podcast interview that the whole world is talking about. I think it's got like 45 million views right now. But the guy was talking about at 13 years old, he left home because he and his father was butting heads. And he just moved out and was living on the streets. And that is basically what's happening right now. I mean, the parents are not listening to the teenagers. Even when they're in the house, it's a very, very troubled time for. So your book is right on time, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to give it some visibility. And yeah, because it's coming from someone that have experience. And by the way, I was a an adoptive parent, working through one of those same, what you're calling is, facilities that you're talking about, where they have, where they have these teenagers go because their parents can't deal with them. So they put them in this, residential program so that they can come out better. So I know exactly the program that you're talking about because I've had experience with it. Yeah, so how can listeners get a copy of your book and connect with you if you are on social media?
Just go to Connection of the Minds, connectionoftheminds.com.
Okay. Oh, that's your website. Okay.
Yes.
And are you in social media?
I think that's going to happen probably the next month.
All right. So basically what I will do, there will be a transcript of my conversation with you on the show page, which is blog.myhelps.us. I will link out to your book on Amazon. And when your website is up, just send me a note and I would add it to the show page so people can connect with you on your website and get some more information if they need to. But yeah,
the website is up already. Connectionoftheminds.com. Yes, they can go on the website. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Good. Yes. Excellent.
What I was saying in social media is TikTok, Instagram, and all that.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, once you start, putting up your content there, they'll see it there. But yeah, I'll definitely connect out to your website and your book on Amazon. Listen, yes, Patricia, you talk from the heart. Thank you so much I can see your passion and I see you care because you're talking about those girls. And yeah, the stories are hiring. Like I tell you, I'm in that space because I'm a foster parent and I was an adoptive foster parent. And yes, I know exactly.
I admire you. I admire you and respect you, Myrna.
Thank you. Yeah. And it wasn't a piece of cake, I will tell you. But I know what you're talking about. It's a difficult time. And I know that the girls that their parents put into those programs, the parents are saying the girls are hurting them, but they're saying the parents are hurting them. And for you to have the empathy, and I'm glad that we spent a lot of time on the empathy because you do have empathy. I can see it, I can feel it. So I hope that, you guys that are listening, if this conversation resonated with you at all, definitely pick up a copy of Patricia's book. And, as she's saying, every child is different. So which means that how you deal with your teenager is different. When I was, I started having problems with teenagers when my son at 16 years old, in my own life, was acting up. And what I do, I says, go live with your dad, because his dad and I were divorced. And I said, go live with your dad. And I remember someone telling me that between the ages of 14 and 19, your kids are going to act up. So you're very right. Culture is telling us to expect this, and whatever you expect shows up. So this is a great conversation to be having. Great book, Patricia. So thank you.
No, thank you. And I would like to say a few words to your open-minded listeners that there's no compassion without empathy, no values without practicing, and no knowledge without sharing. And 2 words for all the young people is you matter.
Yeah.
In my respect and admiration to all the parents.
You're very welcome. I like that. You matter. Yes, it's very true. Yes, they're the builder of our society. They matter. That's very true. Yes. All right, guys. Well, listen, I love being able to present to you the authors, the local authors, so that they can get some exposure for their books. They're doing good work. This is especially good work. So, head out to Amazon and pick up a copy of Connection by Design and learn from someone that's been there how to deal with your teenager. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Patricia, for being on the show. And until
Thank you,
next
Miriam.
time,
It's an honor. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Goodbye.
Goodbye.